Welcome, English 101 students. Professor Opyr was kind enough to invite me to give you this brief video overview of the library resources, with the hopes that it'll save you some time and frustration as you move forward with your college studies. The library is going to be integral to a lot of assignments, and one thing to keep in mind is when you're using an open internet search like Google or Yahoo, what you're finding on the internet is very different than what you find on the library website. So with the library website, you see there's a search bar right in the middle of the home page here. This is not searching websites. This is searching what we call databases, and these are resources that we pay for. Most of the information comes from publications, and we're going to talk a lot about that in a little bit. So you really need many times to start at the library to get to the most the most informative, reliable, expert information from these publications. And most of us have had the experience of doing a Google search, and you find something that you're interested in reading or watching, and at a certain point you get a message saying to register or to pay for it. So the resources that have the best information cost a lot, so they're not given for free on the internet. So the library buys subscriptions to all of these publications in the form of databases. So they're all held in what we call college or subscription databases. And you see that there's a database tab here on the home page on this menu bar. That is one of the most important links you will be using in your college career. So first of all, how do we get to the library homepage? If some of you are taking a summer course and you are attending at another institution, your college website will be just as important and look very similar to our library homepage. You're going to look for your database tab, your research guides, which are really just mini pages that we make up to guide you for certain assignments or subject areas. If you're in physical therapy, the research guides will have all the important ebooks and databases for physical therapy, for instance. So sometimes you'll be told to go to the research guide for your class of your instructor, and this is what they mean. They call them LibGuides, and there's a whole list here by subject here. See, they're all in alphabetical by subject. So that's what that's all about. Databases are also listed in alphabetical order, and there are many different types of databases, and I'll get back to that in a second. So how do I get to this library homepage? Well, from the college homepage, ncc.edu, there is no banner for the library up here, so you have to click on this Quick Links link here and go to the library Quick Link. Okay, so once again, ncc.edu, click on the Quick Links submenu, and library will take you to the library homepage. The other way to do this is from your portal. So I logged into my portal just to show you where to go. Over here you have your email link and your NCC Online to get into your Blackboard classes, but if you scroll down a little bit, you start to see folders. One of those folders is the library. You click there and there's a few different options. The library homepage is the first one. If you want to go right to the databases, if you're doing an assignment or you know what you're looking for, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, you can just click on the database link. So library homepage will also bring you to this page here. Notice that up here there are some library hours. This is important because there's this chat widget over here on the library homepage. Now, the library is not open right now on Sundays, but when the library is open, this will be a live widget. So you can ask a question to a live librarian anytime we are, normal hours. So up here we'll show you, if you click on this, click for complete hours, this shows you that there are special hours for the summer, and this is where you find these. So anytime within these hours, you can access a live librarian. But if live librarian is not available, like right now, just click on the chat widget and type a question in here and send it. It will go in as an asynchronous communication, like a text message or an email. And as soon as the library opens, one of the librarians will go in and look for any questions that students have asked, and they will get back to you by email or by text. However you contacted us, that's usually how we get back to you. So it's very important in this remote environment to take advantage of asking questions anytime you need something. We're getting a lot of questions right now from students asking about textbooks for the summer or the fall So I just wanted to show you that the Nassau Community College has a bookstore, okay? And the website is up here. So in this video, you can always review this video to find out some of this information. And it's at bookstore.com, bkstr.com/Nassau store/home. You could find it by Google, but it says find my course materials. So there's a way to search by subject, term, course code to find out what materials you need for your class. Sometimes the library will have an ebook available for your class. So your textbook might be available by ebook, but most of the time you won't be able to rent that out by through the library to check it out for the whole semester. So at some point, the bookstore search will tell you if the ebook is available for your book and you want to purchase or rent that. You can purchase a print book and the bookstore will mail it to you. You can also rent print books. So the college bookstore search will tell you everything that's available and all of your options. You can call them if you don't see any materials available. Sometimes instructors haven't logged them in yet. There's also something in the works where you might be able to prepay it as an option for all of your ebooks and print books as part of your college fee rather than buying books individually for each course. You'll get some information. You might have already got information about that. But you can always, when in doubt, ask through the library about your textbooks. If we need to, we'll just refer you to the bookstore. Okay, so the important link there is that the hours and the chat widget. Number 1, research guides. If you're told to go to research guides, this search page right here on the home page, this is used mainly for, it can look through everything that the library has. So librarians use this when we're searching for a hard to find topic or article or resource. But also there's a drop down here, so you can click on textbooks, and once again, when the library is open, this becomes much more useful. Now we don't have access to, we have a lot of print books that are in the reserve library. So those are print books that are also your textbook for your class. So if you don't have it with you, you haven't bought it yet, a lot of students rely on them in the beginning of the semester. So we're trying to work out a lot of different things to address that situation. But you can search for your textbook by title by using the textbook drop down. Just see if you get lucky and see if your textbook is available as an ebook. At least you can maybe check that out for a short amount of time, or look through look through some of the chapters that you need maybe in the beginning of the class. So once again, library homepage, main link here is the databases. Okay, so the what's in a database? So I'm going to open up this link. So this is a graphic showing you that it says databases here, and you see an image of a newspaper, the New York Times, a magazine, Psychology Today, and an academic journal, the New England Journal of Medicine. So these are 3 of the most common types of resources that are in the college databases, and they're the most useful types of sources for finding information to do a research paper. The kinds of sources that your instructor is going to want to see that you've looked at to find out more information, whether it's about current events from a newspaper. Every day the newspaper writes about what's happening locally, nationally, regionally, international stories. Right now we have a big story going on with protests in every city, and newspapers are writing about that every day. And as this goes forward for a week or two, you'll start to see these stories show up in popular magazines. Okay, so these you see on newsstands a lot. Time Magazine, Newsweek, Psychology Today is the one here. If you're into music, you'll see Downbeat, Rolling Stone. So a lot of these deal with current events. Some of them deal with entertainment. Some of them deal with special interests, like certain hobbies. So they're considered popular reading. But the next step up from that are these academic journals, which are written primarily for experts by experts. You'll see that a lot of the articles here are written by people with PhDs. They've studied and have hired, high-end postgraduate degrees in their topic of interest, so their specialty area. Notice that there aren't glitzy graphics on there, no photos. It's just basically a banner saying the journal of, and a bunch of articles here. And these articles will have lots of, pages of references showing where the authors got their information. So you, as a college student doing a research paper, even if it's just a couple of pages or a 3-page research paper, you're going to be asked to research a topic that you're interested in, find out what other people have written about, whether it's a journalist or a reporter in a newspaper or magazine, or an expert in a journal. You're going to read those articles. And there's also another resource that are in the database that's not shown as here, is that they will also give you chapters or essays that have appeared in books. Okay, so notice that a lot of these are in print. Some of the best resources start out as print publications because of all the editing that's done and all the fact checking. So you hear a lot about fake news, and that's a phenomenon that happens through social media, also on the internet. But it preys on people that pick up their phone, they get a message or they see an image that looks provocative, and you find it to be either interesting or controversial, so you send it on to your friend or your colleagues or to your contacts, and this just grows and grows, and there's really no basis to the story. Nobody knows really where the story came from or really cares. But as a college student, you're going to be introduced to the fact that where information comes from is extremely, extremely important, that there are reputable sources that have nothing to do with fake news. Fake news is it's a trick that people do on the internet to make money, basically. So they figure if they can get enough gullible people to click on a fake story, then they get paid based on the amount of clicks by advertisers that don't really care what a fake news is, or how damaging it is. So as a student, you're going to get to know that you're looking for sources that have come from, you're going to know where the source of that information is. And that's another reason why doing a Google searches can be problematic, and we'll get a little bit more into that. You don't really know a lot of times where the information comes from. Sometimes you don't have an author. You see a lot of organizations show up on the internet. Some are good, many are bad. Some readers don't even know what they are. So to use a source in a research paper, you're going to need to make the case that you found it, either you started out in the databases, you know it's reliable. If it's an internet source, then you can tell your professor why you have confidence that the internet or the document you found on a website has any basis in truth, has any fact checking, is actually useful for research. So that's what you find on doing an internet search on just lots of wild card stuff that has a lot of work to do to find out if it's reputable. You don't have to worry about that when you go through the library databases. So we'll go over in the next section how to search for a database, how to find topics that I'm interested in, and then how to search for articles based on a topic, how we use something called keywords to find out what we need. But so that's will be covered in the next section.